New York, Brownsville, and my beloved Canarsie. And as you know, we are representing both sides of the bridge here. From the Irish Riviera across the bridge, Rockaway Beach, Rockaway Park, the ponds at Bell Harbor, and of course Breezy Point, Broad Channel, and all the great communities here that both Sid Rosenberg and I ran the streets in. Marine Park, Mill Basin, Georgetown, Canarsie, Gravesend, and Garrison Beach. Yeah, that's a pretty good memory there. I think maybe Joe Biden, I should give him a little bit of what I got here. But we are at the point that we've been in many other places where I've called for a day of action. Because our elected officials are pretentious, obstinate, very stubborn, and they think they know everything. They treat us as sheep, and as if they are sheep herders, and we don't need sheep herders. We pay our taxes, we raise our children, we're patriots. In time of war, in time of peace, as the Sullivan family, all 7 sons have indicated, we're dedicating this rally to them. You can't get any more patriotic than the people who are here tonight and who our neighbors are. We're carrying that through the decades. Just go to the local cemeteries, go to the military cemeteries, look at all of our war dead, and most importantly, in the aftermath of 9/11, per capita, per person, look at all of those that we've lost from both sides of the bridge and are continuing to lose when the pit became the world's largest crematorium. And so many of our beloved family members die and suffer because they were there. They didn't cut and run. They stood and fought for what they knew was right. And if we look at just one problem that open border provides, think of all the terrorists who previously have decided that New York City was their #1 target.
That's right.
1993, led by Sheikh Omar Abdel Rahman, the blind-eyed cleric, Santa Claus hat-wearing Imam of hate, who went around saying, "Death to the U.S. of A."
Shall burn in hell.
In mosques and on Atlantic Avenue and in Jersey City, and we acted like we didn't know what was going to happen next. And then Ramzi Youssef, the mastermind, attempted to topple both towers and almost did. And when he's captured in the Philippines, he was flown by helicopter over the World Trade Center. And our FBI asked him, "Why the World Trade Center, Ramzi? Why?" And he said, "Because this was the place we could find the most Jews, the World Trade Center." And we should have woke up. We should have realized they were coming again. Because Ramzi Youssef's cousin, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, came up with a plan in which there would be planes that would fly into buildings. And he brought it to Osama bin Laden in a cave in Afghanistan. And he sold them on the idea, jihad on America. Attempt number 2, this time a success. And we've been paying the price ever since. But in typical American fashion, the further a tragedy distances us from the here and now, we seem to forget. And now we are allowing terrorists across our border. Now look at the most recent group that has come across the border. They're from the sub-Saharan part of Africa. I guarantee you that most Americans couldn't even find that on a map. They come from countries like Mauritania, which is a hotbed of ISIS, Al-Qaeda activity. Mali, which is at insurrection. The Sudan, which is at civil war. Nigeria, which is at Boko Haram. As you know, they've captured women and they've killed children and women by the dozen. They are jihadists. Their #1 target is America. Their #1 location to strike and try to clear the table for a third time is New York City. And we have made it so easy for them. All they have to do is pay $8,000, which they told me outside of the Roosevelt Hotel, fly to Mexico City, get a coyote to take them up to the border, cross over the Rio Grande, and who meets them on the American side? Nope. Catholic Charities, which is a racket. Catholic Charities, which takes federal tax dollars, our money, and immediately asks them where you want to go. Imagine they get a choice. We don't tell them like Montana, Wyoming, either. No, where would you like to go? And of course, because of the swagger man with no plan, Eric Adams. Because in August of a year ago, he tried to one-up Governor Abbott, who needed help, and instead of getting help from a sanctuary city, a sanctuary state, which, by the way, there is no law that says that, it's by proclamation, it can end in a millisecond, he called Governor Abbott a racist. He said, we'll take whatever you got. We'll give them plasma, 72-inch full-screen TVs. We'll give them PlayStations, iPhones, smartphones. We'll give them culturally appropriate food. Con arroz habichuelas with a nice pork chop chuleta on top. Mangú, mofongo, and if we run out of it, Eric Adams said, the taxpayers will pay for this. Grubhub it to them. 3-star hotels, the old Milford Plaza, the Watson Hotel, the Sheraton Arms Hotel, the Paramount Hotel. Madonna my, you're an illegal alien, and you get to stay in hotels in Times Square, the gateway to the world. Who's paying for it? We are! And now, a year later, swagger man with no plan, mayor of the illegal aliens, because he's not our mayor. That's right. Says no mas, we're overwhelmed. I gotta cut basic services. I gotta screw the people that I was elected to represent in order to help illegal aliens and potentially some terrorists, sex traffickers, drug dealers, gangbangers, narco-terrorists over American citizens. And I say to Eric Adams, who has abdicated his responsibility, he's given up. He's waved the white flag. Dealing with him and Joe Biden and Hochul is like dealing with a dysfunctional family where mom is fighting with dad, dad is fighting with mom, and they're both fighting with their older son, right? They give us vertigo. They can't even agree, and then they expect us to follow. Eric Adams is like the captain of the Titanic who saw the iceberg ahead and said, I got it, full speed ahead. And yet he's the first one to jump ship even before the women and children can get into the rowboats. No way! And the day before the night of Rosh Hashanah, he is a Shaida. For all of you Italians, he is a disgraziato. And where is Eric Adams, swagger man with no plan tonight? He's at a very elite party called En Blanc, where everybody dresses in white, the richest, the trendoids, the freakazoids, the jet setters, the creme de la creme. Well, I tell you what, I am the mayor in exile. I am like Napoleon was on the island of Elba. Eric Adams has abdicated his role to be the mayor of nightlife and of the wealthy and rich. I tell you what, Eric, since they're not using the U.S. Open right, and they spent millions of dollars to come here to watch tennis be played, and pay $50 for a microscopic piece of quiche. Why don't we take all of your illegal aliens and put them over on the grounds of the U.S. Open? You think the rich would allow that? Heavens to Betsy, no. What about Central Park? Didn't he mention he was going to put them in Central Park in tents? How come? Because there are contributors to Eric Adams on the east side and west side who said, oh, no, you don't. Because you see, Eric Adams answers to the rich, has his beak in the trough. He gets wine, dined, and pocket line. He has forsaken you. and to the African American community, very large in our city. They were the ones responsible for Eric Adams getting elected mayor in the Democratic primary, without which he could not have beaten his competitors. And through politics, to the victor go the spoils. He should have been taking and prioritizing African-American men and women, citizens, some of them veterans, who were in the streets, in the parks, in the subways, who are emotionally disturbed, who are homeless, who have problems with drugs and alcohol, and he has forsaken his own people. A man who has forsaken his own people will forsake all of us citizens for strangers. And in cabal with him is Kathy Crime Wave Holcomb and Joe Meshuggah Biden. So there's plenty of blame to pass around. But every time there's been a rally, and the politicians get up and, oh my God, man, it's like I want to take a big pen and just stab my eyeballs. They say the same thing over and over. They're afraid to venture out. They're afraid to take on their colleagues. That's why our rallies are rallies to the people. And all of these rallies, people always ask, what is the plan, Curtis? What is the plan, right? Because we have to have a plan, or we're just getting eaten up by the mosquitoes tonight, because this is Eric Adams, a floodplain. Superstorm Sandy wiped out whole areas. This is a floodplain. Midland Beach in Staten Island is a floodplain. You cannot house people on a floodplain, but you don't care because there's contracts in the air. You say contract, I say kickback. You say contract, and we know there's a hell of a lot of kickbacks. So let's look at the positive. What happened earlier today? Back on May 17th, a woman, Yvette Aguilar, the town of Riverhead, was informed by me, as I inform you, the audience, that there were a number of real estate owners in the town of Riverhead in Suffolk County who went to City Hall in downtown Manhattan to make a deal to house illegal aliens. I said it on Sid's show first at 7 in the morning, and then I repeated it. I gave the entree at noon. Everyone in Suffolk County called me a liar. I was a rumor monger. I made it up. Well, maybe if it was just myself, that was true. But my wife Nancy checked, double checked, triple checked. We had him by the short hairs. And Yvette Aguilar stood up to her county executive, that crook, Steve Malone, and her fellow Republicans and Democrats who castigated her. And she went to court, and she got an injunction, and she declared a state of emergency because of the information that I was able to provide her. She checked and double-checked it was true. Yesterday, after the city had sued the town of Riverhead through the Corporation Council with our money, Eric Adams had to admit, no mas, no mas. The Sliwa information was correct, and the city said we lose, and the town of Riverhead is victorious because Yvette Aguilar would not fold like a cheap camera. Let's give her a great round.